Welcome back to Simply Home and Harvest, friends. For the longest time, I have been wanting to make my own apple cider vinegar. So I did a little research and it took those apple peels and cores that we had left over from where we processed a lot of apples to make applesauce and apple butter. If you'd like to see those videos, I'll link those in the description. But we had so much left over. I didn't want to throw them away. And so I decided that this was the time to try to go ahead and start apple cider vinegar. So that's what this is. It's a video of starting apple cider vinegar. I'll show you at the end of the video what the apple cider looks like now. It's been about a week and I'm stirring it every day and it's starting to really come together. But I wanted to go ahead and get this video up in case you wanted to start doing this with your apple leftovers. So I hope you enjoy this and I hope you'll stick around. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. And without further ado, here's our process. Our apple butter is still cooking. It'll be cooking probably for the next few hours. But now I am going to attempt to make some apple cider vinegar. Now I've done some research on this, so I'm just gonna make this based on the research that I've done. I've never attempted this myself, but I thought since I've got all these apple peels and cores and just leftover parts of our apples, this would be a good way to put them to use. So I have this gallon-sized jar. I actually used it to store flour in, but got a better system to store that in because the mouth of our jar was just too small to get the flour in and out. So that is what this is from. So if you have an old pickle jar or a gallon-sized mason jar, or even quart-sized mason jars, you could still do this. So I'm using the gallon size, and what I'm gonna do is go ahead and fill this up with our apple cores and apple peeling, and I've got several of them here. So I'm just gonna kind of go through, and you can also put like chunks of apple in. I'm just gonna make sure that there's nothing, I don't wanna put any like rotted pieces of apple or anything in there, but we'll put some peels in as well. This will probably end up looking like a science project once we get it all. And it's okay if you get seeds, you know, like if your core has seeds in it, that's okay because you're gonna filter all of this out when you get ready to make your actual vinegar. So this is just gonna start that fermentation process. And from what I've researched, said that, you know, all the components of the apple are good. If you wanna have like some of the flesh parts of the apple, that's good too, because it will all work together to build up that good bacteria and all those probiotics and things that you get that's so good for you from fermented foods. Since I've never done it before, I want to make sure that, oh yeah, these look a little bit better, that we've got, you know, some good stuff in there. All right, I think that's probably good and full. We'll see once we add the water in. I want to leave enough room for that. All right, so what we also need to start the fermentation process is we're going to need some sugar. And for a gallon jar, you need a cup of sugar. So with our little 1/4 cup here, this is gonna be 4 scoops of this sugar. And you wanna make sure that you use a pure cane sugar, which is what we have. All right, so that's a cup. Just gonna get all this down in our jar. That dissolved. Now we're gonna I'm taking distilled water. You wanna make sure it's an unfiltered water because you don't want anything that's chlorinated or anything like that. That could disrupt all that good bacteria that you're going to build for your vinegar. So I'm going to be on the safe side. We do have a filtered water, but I'm going to use distilled water. And you're just going to fill this up. You want to make sure that you cover your apples. That's very important. All right. Don't think I'm going to fill it any more than that, and that might be too much because we're going to have to stir this every day, and you know, it'll be a little bit easier to stir the less water we have in there. Now, You want to make sure that your apples stay under this water, because if they do come up and they get exposed to the air at the top, that could cause some mold. But one way to keep that at bay is to stir it every day. So you want to keep this in a cool, dark place, preferably, but you also want to keep it somewhere where you can remember to stir it every day. So I've got to figure that out. I don't know if that they recommend like a pantry or something. My pantry is not where I would probably see this every day, so I may just find a cabinet to put mine in, or I might just sit it over in the corner of the kitchen and put a towel over it. But that way I will be reminded, because we are going to want to come and stir this every day for about 4 to 6 weeks. Then after 4 to 6 weeks, you'll strain all the liquid into another container. Then once you transfer your liquid, then that will start to make the vinegar. And then there's steps you have to take at that point. So I'm just basically going to show you how to start one today. And if you follow me on this journey, then you'll see in about a month what our next step is. So if that's something you would like to see, make sure that you do subscribe to this channel, and that way you can keep up with everything that we're gonna do. Doesn't that look cool, Alex? You just walk by. It looks like we're doing some sort of a Halloween decoration, I guess. It does look kind of creepy. All right, you're just going to find a piece of cloth. You want to make sure that it's breathable. Nothing that fruit flies can get through, but just something that air can pass through. And you're just going to cover it, kind of like when you make sourdough, same kind of idea. You're just going to cover this, and then we're going to get a rubber band to put on top of that. And put this rubber band over the top. Be nice if we could double it up, but I don't think we're going to be able to. All right. Now, there we go. Apple cider vinegar. The start of it anyway. All right, we have had our apples soaking in our distilled water for about 8 days. And I've kept this in a cool, dark place, and I've been stirring it every day. You can see, I don't know if you can see the foam and the bubbles that are on top, but our apples are starting to really break down in there, and the water is starting to turn that darker apple cider vinegar color. Already starting to get that fermentation smell to it. So I know that that vinegar process is underway, and we're just going to continue doing this for 6 weeks. And stay tuned for more about how we use our apple cider vinegar. Thanks so much for watching today, friends. If you'd like to see more ways to use your apples, I'll be happy to link some of those videos in the description below. I've got a video on making and canning applesauce and apple butter. There's one for an apple pie, and probably some more apple recipes will be heading your way. So until next time, remember to live simply, use what you have, and enjoy the moments you've been given. Bye for now.